Ladies and gentlemen, again, show. Uh, it's night in Nigeria. I don't know how it's night in whichever part of the world you are, but it's night in Nigeria. I could also have said good evening to Nigeria and good morning, whichever part of the world you are. Welcome again to another session of the Raymond Show. And tonight, we'll be taking another thought-provoking discussion. But before I do that, let me introduce other of my colleagues on this platform. Good evening, Dr. Femi.
Good evening, sir.
How are you
Good
doing?
evening, viewers. We are fine. I'm fine. Thank you, sir. We are fine,
Okay.
sir.
I can also see Oluwa Femi Oluwalere. Good evening, sir.
Beautiful evening to you, sir. Beautiful evening to all our listeners, wherever you are. Beautiful evening, morning, afternoon,
Okay.
as the case may be.
Okay. As other people also join, I will be introducing them. Tonight, like I said, we're going to also take a very, very interesting topic that borders on the marriage setting. And we're narrowing it down to the role of family. In my definition, is husband, wife, and children. But as you all agree with me, both husband and wife did not just exist. They came through a source, and the source is of course the grandmother or the grandfather, as the case may be. So for today, we're incorporating the role of both the grandfather and the grandmother in the family setting. And the topic for today that we're taking is, don't take your dad's wife from him. Don't take your dad's wife from him. The pain of grandpas. As a means of introduction, so many culture around us is along with their culture that when the wife gives birth, the mother of the husband goes and do what in some culture in Nigeria called what they call omugo. Omugo means the mother or the father of the husband go and take care of the child, especially the first child. But it can also continue with other children. It's premised on the assumption that the lady or the wife is just coming afresh and therefore does not have enough experience to be able to take care of the child. So the mother of the husband, which definitely is like a certified trainer by now, after all, he has been able to nurture the husband to be good enough to be able to marry a wife. So we assume that is a certified children or child nurturer, as the case may be. So naturally, they go in almost immediately the baby is born to go and render all the assistance that the wife will require. But that comes at a cost that is always been borne by the grandfather. The grandfather is left outside in the cold. Some omugo can take as much as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 year. In fact, some mothers some grandmas does not even want to come back again, depending on how the relationship between them, between the grandma and the grandpa had been before now. But the question we are asking tonight is it fair? Is it fair on the grandpa that what is supposed to be a thing of enjoyment has invariably turned to what eventually becomes like a pain? So that is the topic that we're looking at tonight. And let me start with Mr. Oluwalere. Do you feel that the grandpas have been treated fairly or been treated unfairly when what should naturally be a joy for the entire family, both the immediate and the extended, now become a case where the grandpa is the one covering every of those issues?
Thank you very much, moderator. Honestly speaking, we take a lot of things for granted in this our setting in Nigeria or maybe in African setting. To be sincere with you, it is not really fair, because when the husband and wife comes together, they said the two of them shall become one. And if we say one, the oneness should be there at all times. And we shouldn't expect a situations whereby one's joy should be another person's sadness. Why did I say this? Okay, your son maybe has just, the wife just put to bed, and you want your mother to come and take care of the baby. Have you considered the father at home that the wife is leaving behind? Who is going to take care of that man? He didn't want to remain a bachelor. That was why he got married in the first instance. Why are you making him a bachelor again? To me, it is not fair. In the wife setting, these things are not happening. So why should we at all times lay much emphasis on it? And the situation whereby a mother will leave the husband because her daughter has just put to bed, and 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, as the case may be, at times 1 year or more than that, he still left the father at home, not considering whether that father is suffering from loneliness, whether the father cannot even prepare food by himself. So to me, it is not fair. And I think it should be something we need to think about critically. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Samuel Femi, where is this culture? Where did this culture actually emanate from? Is it in our culture, or is it just an assumption?
Thank you very much, sir. This culture was never an assumption. If you look at the way African setting is, we live a communal life in which the father, the mother, the grandfather, everybody stays in the same locality. And when you have someone giving birth or are just put to bed, you see all the mature women in that locality or in our environment will migrate towards trying to help with 1 or 2 things. It's a culture that has been as long as we know the black race. I don't know if it was practiced in the white race, if they lost it with time, but with us, the communal life is still what we live by. It has its own advantage actually, and that is, medically, there are things we call psychiatric manifestation after delivery, like we have maternal blues, puerperal psychosis, in which a woman just infanticide, the risk of infanticide killing the baby, woman just deliver, the woman will start feeling depressed because it could actually be disheartening. So our forefather learned this, that coming around them, around a woman in puerperal that just deliver, has gone a long way to help. But when this culture was being practiced, if you look at it, we were living a communal life. What we call Yoruba Agbole. See the mother, the father, the grandfather, the grandchildren, everybody will be in the same vicinity. So the grandmother can actually visit them shortly, attend to them, and go back home. But you can imagine a man that has been married for the past 30 years, 40 years, have 4 girls, and even if he was a good bachelor can cook, has lost that skill over the years. Maybe for about 20, 30 years, he has not lighted the gas. He doesn't know how to put pot on fire. And suddenly, the wife was taken away, not by death, but by what was called a blessing to the family. So what do you expect? The man will now start learning how to cook. So the culture has been with us over the years, not a new culture, it's not a new thing. But what now makes it a little bit more complex now is that we stay apart. My parents stay in Lagos, I stay in Ondo State. You can imagine taking my mom away from Lagos to Ondo State. And peradventure, if we now have 4, 5 children, and they are given back every 3 months or 6 months interval, that means the mother will have to go through all their houses for about 2 years without taking care of her primary responsibility, which is till death do us part. That's the way I see it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me stay with you and get this clarification. In that culture that you mentioned, is it also said that it must compulsorily be the mother-in-law that should go and do the helping?
Thank you very much, sir. In the culture, it must not be no particular family member, either mother-in-law. I said it that the elder women around, it could be the grandparent, it could be the elder sister, it could be the paternal mother-in-law or the mother. But looking at it, personally, what I've practiced over the years is the mother of the woman, I prefer the mother of the woman coming to help. And I'll give my reason. If my mom comes to the house and I'm the man of the house, what will my mom come and do? No matter how understanding my mom is, my wife will be restricted in what's going to tell my mom. Paint it this way. My wife can tell her mom, let's eat pounded yam tonight. And the mom won't mind, will pound it. My wife can tell the mom, let's soak garri and bean cake. And her mom will not take offense at it. But if you tell that to my mom, it may be a problem. It may be insinuating some things. So a woman that just delivered, just see it this way. If you just deliver, you have a baby to take care of. Maybe you've been taking care of your husband. If you happen to marry a man that cannot even do anything, you have 2 babies, one small one, one big one. The third one is that you now have mother-in-law, because that mother-in-law that is coming, what's it coming to do? It's coming to bathe the baby in the morning and sit in front of DSTV and be watching television, where you will be the one to cook her food, to wash her clothes, to fetch the water. So she's more of a burden than of a help. She's more of a burden. You are going to spend the time you don't have to take care of your mother-in-law. And your mother-in-law in reciprocating it will do little for you, taking care of the baby. You can do that. So if you ask me for my opinion about who should come and take care of the baby, I would prefer the mother, the wife's mother to take care, because the woman will be a little bit, relaxed with her mother. Can do that. Stage of puerperum can actually be a very tedious and stressful stage in a woman's life. Some women, their woman breaks down that stage, develops psychiatric problem because the stress is enormous. Sometimes you may not sleep throughout the night. You are going to breastfeed throughout the night, and in the morning, if you are a working class lady or you have your own business, you still have to do it. You still have clothes to wash. You have to clean the home. You won't say because you are nursing a baby, you will leave other things. If you don't have an house help, it could actually be stress. So taking another adult that is not going to contribute significantly to your care at home is detrimental to the health of the woman. So my suggestion would be that to take her mother. Though people will tell you that There are some husband mother that could be so understanding. No matter how the man's mother is understanding, there is a limit to which you can tell her to do some things for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You really spoke so well about my experience. I had a case like this that was almost going to break the entire home, just because the wife felt very uncomfortable with the mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law was just impossible. It's thank God for the grace of God and the understanding of the husband. He will have relatively rocked the entire boat. Mr. Oluwalere, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay.
I'm hearing you, sir.
If the culture even stipulates that the mother-in-law and must go, how many months will you suggest that it's appropriate for the mother-in-law to be available to help with the baby?
Honestly speaking, no matter the number of days, the number of weeks, the number of months, it creates a kind of inconvenience to the man you are leaving behind. And the questions of how long depends on the man you are leaving behind. There are some men that are very agile. There are some men, they are still physically strong, healthy. There are some men, take it or you leave it, whatever food they can prepare it themselves. Those ones, well, maybe they might take averagely 1 month. But what about those who cannot even prepare yam? What about those who cannot even boil rice? How much more talking about preparing soup, going to the market to buy pepper, grind the pepper, cook it, prepare rice or eba or pounded yam. For those ones, it becomes a burden. And you discover 1 day, 2 days, 3 days after the wife must have left home, it becomes lonely to them. And if the guy is not thinking, some will be sick. And particularly the husband and wife that love themselves very well, that they are bonded, they can't do without themselves. And you just come within a twinkle of an eye, you just say, okay, mother-in-law, get up, your daughter has just put to bed. And the person just go 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, is not back. So definitely it will affect the man that you have left behind. So like I said, it depends on the man. If they are the type of couple that have the bonding is so strong, taking the wife away for more than a month will create a lot of problems for him. If it is a family whereby the father cannot prepare anything, taking the wife away for a period of 1 month or more will create a lot of problems for him. If it's a man that cannot live alone, taking the wife away from him for more than 1 month will create a lot of problems. If it's a man that cannot do without the other exercise in the living room, taking the wife away for more than one month, automatically you are giving him a signal, a green light to go out to look for another woman. And if care is not taken, before you come back, you meet another woman at home. So it all depends on how healthy the man you are leaving behind is. It depends on how able he is to take care of himself, whether he can prepare food, whether he is used to living alone, or somebody who cannot do without his wife. So to me, averagely, 1 month should be okay. And that 1 month too, you need to pray. If it is If there's a man that cannot do without his wife, that 1 month will look like if it is 1 year. So it all depends. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so sure that most women will surely disagree with you based on your standpoint. As much as possible, is it also fear? After all, the son is a son for both the grandpa and the grandma. Is it good, or will it be, will both of them be happy to hear that because the grandma cannot sacrifice a little time, or both of them cannot sacrifice a little time, the granddaughter or the daughter-in-law make a costly mistake that eventually will affect the life of the child, either out of inexperience or out of ignorance. Dr. Samuel,
Yes, sir.
can we have a mystery?
Can we have?
It's so vivid. Mr. Lualeri is on the extreme. He spoke so well as if somebody had paid him to go and push his point and say, see, I want my wife always by my side. If you want your wife always by your side, maybe you should not have bothered to give birth to children, or you should not have encouraged your children to give birth to other children. But I feel that there could always be a midpoint where both the grandpa and the grandma can meet, not affecting their children, I mean both the husband and the wife in this case, and at the end of the day, they will still be able to, whether you understand my question.
Yes, sir. I understand your point. Is well, the way I see it is not. Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you 100%.
The way I see it, taking the woman away from home is distressing to the man. Maybe people are not seeing it from this point of view. Let me create this scenario. The time where the mother, the grandma start going for Mungo coincide with the time of retirement. A man, for our age group, we are seeing active service. Even if my wife travels, I will go out in the morning, I will mingle with friends, I will mingle with people, I can go out, I can eat in the staff canteen. It will cost me less because I mingle with people, I'm in the theater, I'm seeing patients. But the time in which the woman start going out for Mungo or taking care of the grandkids coincide with time of retirement where the man is at home. And that's the problem. Anybody saying that the grandma can go for 1 month without the grandpa, well, may not be fair enough on all parties. We now need to sit down. What problem do we have at hand? Number one, can this man cope without his wife? Yes or no? Number two, does he have any other wife? No, this is the only woman. They've lived together. Does he have even health challenges that should be looked at? Because the man could be hypertensive, could be diabetic, could have stroke. Can he take care of himself? Do they depend on themselves for survival? If yes is the answer, then it will be unfair on the side of the man. Hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
It will be unfair on the side of the man to just remove the wife and take the wife away. So what do we have to do? Let's look for a middle point. Let's just oppose our ideas how to make things work. The grandchildren must be taken care of. The grandfather should not be neglected. What is the midpoint? Is there a possibility of moving both of them to that house so that the grandmother can take care of both the grandchildren and her husband. I know of a case in which the daughter is in Canada now. The woman traveled for close to 2 years. If I gave her to manage, took care of the first grandchild, took care of the second grandchild, waited for pregnant because you were thinking the woman didn't want to come home. At least for reason best known to the woman. Maybe the woman was not even treated well when they were growing up. So she may not even have counted the grandpa to be someone important in that family. That, well, even when she has the money, when they were young, they didn't devote time to them. But be that as it may, you know that you need to balance all things. So the question will now be that if this man cannot take care of himself, is there a way to cater for both the grandma and the grandpa during the omungo? Because if it's a man that has health challenges, he will need to eat at a certain time, to take his drug at a certain time, he will need to see the doctor at a certain time, he will need to observe his clinic visit, and you neglect him at all. You will come back and meet a dead man, and the man will die in regret. A way to prevent this is just to find middle point. Look at it. Another way that it could be done, we have two grandmas. Only one doesn't have to stay all through. The first one can come around, stay for 1 or 2 weeks, go back home to go and manage the home. The second grandma will come and stay. From my personal experience, there was a thing my wife needs to travel, left me at home alone, stocked the freezer everywhere with food. Believe you me, she came back to meet most of the food. I ate less than 10% of the food. What do I be doing with food? I will defrost stew that will only eat once, warm it was cook rice, and the next time the stew will be bad. Because I will forget that I will be on call operating a patient. I will have eaten outside. Not to talk of a man that is retired, is at home, health challenges, he has never handled pot for more than 30-40 years, and is now old, is frail, is not as strong again before, and you are now subjecting that man to the life of loneliness. It may not be good. So the best thing to manage such situation is to juxtapose all ideas. What can we do? This man cannot stay alone. This man we need attention to, just like the grandchildren. Can we take the man and the woman for them to come to the same place so that at least it will be win-win for all? Or Mr. Oluwalere, what do you feel about this?
Thank you very much, sir. Honestly speaking, let me give you a practical example. I will not mention the name of the person because if I mention, you will know. And since we are in the public, let me just keep the name. But let me tell you what happened. The man is over 70 now. The wife is over 60. Their 3 children are married. They are abroad. The man and the wife, they are in Nigeria. They have a company. They do their business together. They have an office. And they can't do without themselves. Now the children are no longer with them because they are all married. The females are married, the male married. Do you know each time any of the children gives birth, the man will never allow the man or the woman to go alone. They go together. They have money. They go together. So in such a situation, assuming they don't have money, and you ask the woman to go and leave that man at home, what do you think will happen? You might end up coming back to meet the skeleton at home. That even when you come back, you will never be happy to yourself. That's number one. Number two, let's assume, what if both the husband and the wife that are just put to bed, what if they don't have parents again? What if they don't have parents? Are they still not going to take care of their children?
They will still survive that through church.
They will still survive. Yes. So I think, to me, we should not say we want to be happy and create sadness in another person's homes. No. Thank God, social Facilities are available now. You can talk to yourself, you can see yourself, but it's not the same thing as being together. The advert will say if it is not Panadol, it cannot be the same as Panadol. There are some men that cannot live alone. Let's be sincere to ourselves. And I know
Yes, I
the couple who are just put to bed will not be happy hearing that their father has passed on.
Pays the ultimate price for their daughter,
we should balance
it.
Yes, we should balance it. We should consider so many factors. There are some parents that are very, very sick. Especially you have given a good example. Somebody who is retired, 24 hours is spent at home. He's not that rich to have all those facilities that can make him to go out, go for gym, go to eatery, go around, go for conference, this or that. So most of the time he spends it at home. I tell you, loneliness and sadness will kill him. To the extent that if the woman comes back, he will regret it. That's number one. Number two, there are some women too that cannot do without their husbands. So taking them away for months, you may be thinking it's even the man alone that will suffer. The woman too will suffer. And like the example I gave, there are some men that cannot live without their wives. So going away for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, if guy is not thinking, when you come back, you meet another man at home, meet another woman at home. And that will create the greatest regret.
Hello?
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 Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
So that is just it. It is good, like Dr. Fem Samuel has said, we need to balance it. We need to look at all those features. How sound is this man? How able is it for him to take care of himself if the wife is not at home? How cordial is their relationship? If they are the two of them are so used to themselves, separating them is the same thing as creating problems. That man, is he retired? Does he have something he does on a day-to-day basis? So having considered all those ones, I think that would determine how long that woman can stay away without necessarily taking care of the husband. Thank you.
So I would like to take a scenario. You know, we've had cases whereby where the woman cannot stay, the grandma cannot stay away from the husband. She will tell her daughter, after 2 weeks, I'm going to my house. I cannot leave my husband. And that has created a lot of issues between the mothers and the child that just gave birth. That I don't know what is wrong with my mom. After 2 weeks, she cannot even help me to take care of my child. But in some other cases, you see mother that uses Omugo as an opportunity to escape from home. Some of them, they
as an escape route.
Yes, to leave the home, to leave their husband. Probably they're not having good relationship with the husband. Grandmothers, they'll be like, I will leave this house for you. So some cases, but that is the truth. We've had cases of mothers that will say, I'm waiting for my child to get married. I'll go and stay with her. Because being in the house, she's enduring the marriage. Because she doesn't want to leave the husband, because so that people will not mock her that she left her husband's house. So any opportunity for her to leave the house, oh my God, the child just got married, she pack her things and goes to her husband, to her child's house. So how about that situation, that case? How about that scenario?
I think for
Sorry,
men,
let me just chip in something, sir. Have you considered it, or have you not seen a situation whereby a couple, as old as ever old they may be, you hear maybe the father dies today, and within a month, the wife passes on, or maybe the wife dies today, and within weeks, the other one passes on. Why? It's because they are used to themselves, and separating them is like creating a lot of problems and challenges at home. So such a person, you want her, I mean, you want her to leave the husband at home and go for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year. Honestly, you come back and meet his carcasses. Thank you.
what we notice is that recently I had a nurse in our hospital that the mother died, and within a week or so,
Thank
the
you.
father too died. And the father too died. What we notice is that we've not done research on that. It's better for when the wife died first, the man won't last long before dying. I don't know how, I don't know why. That's what we just noticed. But if it's the man that died first, the woman can still spend the next couple of years. But if the wife should die first, maybe you don't, maybe as a woman, you refuse to understand the importance of women in the home. They own that home. A time when you marry as a man, most of the things you won't know how important your wife is until the woman travels or is not around, and you need to take care of kids, or you need to take care of food. You know that the woman is actually doing a lot. It's a key factor when it comes to stability of a home. And when that key factor is not there, that home will disintegrate. Thank you.
Okay. I was going to say, when Dr. Femi suggested that both the husband and the wife should go and do omogo. No, both the grandpa and the grandma should go and do omogo. And I was going to ask, have you considered the weight of that kind of I won't call it investment now, the weight of taking care of the two of them together by a new couple? I'm not sure they are prepared most of the time for that kind of spending or investment. That's number one.
Sincerely,
I'm also aware, suggest to us, yeah, because these are some of them. I have a typical example of when I went into marriage. How much was my salary? You know, and the entire family. If my father and my mother had decided that they're going to come, in fact, the problem would have been times 20 by the time they would leave. So I have a reservation for the suggestion of having both the grandpa and the grandma on one. Just most of the time, you also notice that probably it's even the husband that is just only working at that point in time, managing to even feed the family, feed the wife and the newborn baby. So if you now go and bring your mother and bring your father, it's a whole lot of complication. It's too detrimental to the family. So that was what I was saying.
I quite understand your concern, sir, but there is no win-win in life. You just have to make sacrifices. If the grandfather is still agile enough and has agreed to live alone, to live without his wife, it's okay. But we know that I gave that example because there are some grandpa that have health challenges. They are weak. You can imagine a man with stroke, and you're leaving a man with stroke, a man that has to take his medication, that has to go to clinic visit, that has to see the doctor. You can't leave such a man at home. That man will die faster. The woman should see it. Women make certain mistakes. They make some mistake. And the mistake is fundamental. Not only when they are grandma, even when they are young. When the woman starts giving birth, look at it very well. The love tends to shift from the man to the kids. And if care is not taken, by the time those kids are grown up, you may not be able to shift the love back. Most men will overlook it. It's usually a fundamental problem. When they start having kids, the love starts shifting from the kids, from the husband to the kids. They start neglecting the man. They will expect the man to understand. A time will not, okay, man will not feel, okay, let me give you a leeway. Let me allow you to take your wife. Can't I take another wife? Because that is when men start talking about, can I actually take another wife? So that you'll be busy with the kids. We know it's our kids, it's our responsibility. And you are taking care of that responsibility.
Yeah.
Even as a man, you have to make it a point of duty to let your children know that woman, you married her, you didn't marry the kids. And the woman is a priority to you, not an option. Children can be an option, sorry to say, in a family. You have family that don't have kids and they live. And they live with it. But that woman is not an option, it's a priority. The same thing can happen when they are old. I feel that if you treat a woman as an option when she was young, maybe when she was old too, because she will channel those love towards the children. So everything is towards the children. The children will start calling you children. My husband, oh, come here. But you don't know what's happening. It's closer to the children. So by the time you are growing up, you are going to suffer for that neglect you've been practicing. What you are neglecting, then you are going to suffer for it when you are old. So it's a fundamental thing. If it's a man that can stay alone, he's still in service, he's around 52, 54, 58, he still goes to work, you can say no problem. Housemen can do that. But there's a certain age with health challenges, loneliness, you must have analyzed the situation. After adequate situational analysis, can this man stay alone? If it's yes, no problem. But if it's no, it will be a disservice to your matrimonial home for you to leave the man. The easiest thing you can do, there are options. One of the options is you go there transiently, briefly, spend a week or two, come back to your man. Or you spend 5 days, come and see how your man is faring. Or if you don't want a divided attention, discuss and make arrangements. Let everybody make sacrifices. What can we sacrifice? Can we move this man down here so that we know that for the next 1 year I can be with you? Presently now, my parents are in my house. And why were they in my house? My mom was to have an eye surgery done on Monday. My dad followed her for that eye surgery. What was my dad doing? The instruction of the doctor is that this eye drop is every 1 hour. Another one is 2 hours. The one is 3 times daily. One is 4 times daily. I didn't tell my mom. I told my dad. My dad will sit with her. From 6 a.m. they will wake up and be putting that eye drop till 9 when they will go to bed. The man will be there. I don't even bother. If you expect me to be giving eye drop as a doctor, I may even forget. I may have challenge. I may rush to theater. For 3 hours, I may be operating. But my dad will sit down with my dad was 83 in February. We sit down with his wife and be putting that eye drop every 1 hour. They are grown up now. Their children are grown up, but they actually need themselves. So those are some of the now I have to make the arrangements. Both parents must come. I don't even if you do the wahala. They will now be putting eye drop every 1 hour. I can't even do it.
Can I come in, sir?
Do not complain. Yes, sir.
You see, the issue, like I said, I gave the example of the couple who will always go together. They are very rich, so they can afford the money. Once their child put to bed, any of their children, once they put to bed, the two of them travel out. They finance their thing. They can't live themselves. They go together. There is another one. Because of the father, they can't do without themselves. The woman will be there The husband, maybe after 1 or 2 weeks, he will visit them, spend 2-3 days, come back. After 1 or 2 weeks, he will go, and they will begin to do it until maybe until the woman will come back. Let me give you another scenario. A man who has lost his wife was sick, and there are some drugs they gave him to take that should be taken. This man was uneducated, and he felt that why would I bother myself? The man just carry all the drugs. Something is supposed to use one in a day. The man carried the whole one in the bottle, and he used it. He never wake up. Till today, he passed on from there. If I have been in a situation whereby there is somebody that can always take care of him, or the wife is around, at least they will know. They will not even allow him to use more than the dosage. Why do you see today that there are times when a husband loses his wife, they quickly arrange and marry somebody else for him? Because they discover he cannot live alone. If you leave them for 1 week, 2 weeks, we are creating problems. Let me give you an example too. Before I got married, I can do everything. I can pound yam. I can grind pepper with my hand, with the stone. I can grind pepper. I can cook. I can wash. If I go to the office, I come back late. If I say this evening I'm going to eat pounded yam, if I have motor, I will, however late it may be, I will pound yam and I will eat pounded yam. If I say this evening I'm going to take beans, however late it may be, when I get home I will do it. Can I tell you something? Now to even boil water and make tea, at times it becomes a problem for me. At times for me to even warm soup, I will just leave it in the fridge there. I'll buy bread, just make tea. Why? Because things keep on changing every day. Something I can do myself before, I can't do it. And what is my age? I'm not up to 60. I'm still less than 60. And I can't do it. Can't do most of those things again. How much more somebody who is 80? How much more somebody who is used to the wife and the wife is used to him? And you are separating them for one year. When somebody who loses his wife, within a year, they arrange for another wife for him, simply because they know he can't live alone. So I think, like Dr. Femi said, we need to balance it. We should not make the joy of one to become the sadness of others. We need to balance it. We need to factor it in that supposing they don't have parents, what will happen? That is not to say the mother should not visit. That's not to say the father should not live there. But they need to be careful. They need to consider so many things. They need to consider the health of the man. They need to consider how close the couple is and how agile and able the man is. And we need to consider whether he's still working or he's retired. We need to consider whether he's somebody who is rich or somebody who is not rich. So we need to balance both sides so that we will end up regretting that had I known. God will help us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. While we try and round up this session, let me ask, is it not possible? There are two options I want to propose. Number one was, what happens in the grandpa, the father of the husband and the mother of the husband will definitely not be the same thing that will happen in the father and the mother of the wife. Is it not possible that through dialogue they can sit together and look at whether it's more convenient for one party to come around for a period of time and another party also come around for a period of time? That's number one suggestion. The other one that I want us to look critically is the issue of the nanny. I know that people have reservations for nanny, just like some other people also have reservations for house helps. But the nanny is an averagely older mother than a new wife. We expect that the nanny will be a little more experienced about catering for the children. If the mother-in-law will have to stay just for 1 month, is it possible that she encourage an introduction of a nanny in between so that that can continue wherever? Because in sincerity, 1 month is not enough to ground the wife in the act of taking care of the children. And I am speaking out of experience. But since Mr. Lualeri and Dr. Femi had projected and fronted for the male sex that, see, we cannot afford to have the mother the grandma to go and be taking care of the baby or the wife. Is it possible that the grandma introduce a nanny that can continue from wherever she lives and go and meet her husband till probably another opportunity where she can come around and spend another 1-2 weeks, and we can balance it up? That is my submission. Dr. Samuel.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. There is no other fast rule about the issue of the care of a newborn baby, either through the grandmother or either through the grandparent or through a nanny. So many things need to be put in place. Is the mother really free? My mom has never come to take care of any child for any baby for me. My mother-in-law will always do that, and I prefer that. My mom doesn't even have that time. She's staying with her husband in Lagos, so there's no way she will have the time. But if you can get a nanny, because even people that are in UK and US, how do they cope? They have to look for a nanny. Some of them, paying for a nanny could be very expensive. So what they do is that if there are four friends that deliver and one of their mom comes around for Mungo, that one that come around will have to take care of the kids of every other person, and they pay for that services. It's unlike here when people say just do it free. No, they pay for those services. In fact, those grandma comes back home after spending like 6 months, start sending money home because they are being paid in dollars. It may not be as much as what they pay in nanny over there, but at least they get more than what they will make in our environment here.
That's why some of them don't want to come back home.
Yes, when you are getting like, let's say, $80-$100 every day, $100 to Naira is close to 50K every day. So you will stay and be taking care, be doing your small business as far as you are concerned. Because those one, they will need someone to stay with them. So they don't want to come, they are making money. So what I'm trying to say is that if there is a compromise, either to get a nanny or to get someone close by, a church member, they could do that. And if the mother has all the time, maybe because the grandpa is late, no, I don't have a problem with that. Where I have problem with is that if the man is not capable of fending for himself, it will not be fair for us to just leave the man because your child just delivered. Thank you very much, sir.
Maybe I should come to sir. I know, sir. Maybe I should just say this. We are saying all this work because maybe we are looking at the typical environment that maybe the person is in Lagos, the other one is in Ibadan or in East or in Ondo or wherever. What if maybe the parents are maybe they are uneducated, and the daughter that has just put to bed is in abroad, and the parents cannot really live because of the climatic environment of that place. I gave an example. A woman left, a grandma left here to take care of the baby in the US. After some times, he was complaining of cold. She came back home, and before some months, she died. To me, another alternative to it is there is no place you live that you won't see your relations or people from your church that you have taken as your parents, or people that you have taken as your trusted friends or trusted member of the families. So in some instances, those ones can take care of such a situations. What if the parents doesn't have money to travel abroad and you cannot fund them? Would you still not take care of your children? I am not saying it is bad, but we need to look at all those, we need to consider all those factors as well. So there are places in Lagos here, if you live in Lagos here, you have some relations that can play the role of your mother, that can play the role of your situations. Occasionally when that goes back home, those ones we take care of those functions. That's to my own opinion anyway. Thank you.
And what I would have to do that, sometimes it might be so burdening for the woman. Maybe the mother stays for 1 month and she wants to go. The husband's support also help her in a case like this. If the husband is supportive, after a month, if the mother or the mother-in-law that comes as a childminder goes back to her home, what is the part of the husband? I've had a case, there's a friend of mine, when after she gave birth, I think that was their first child or second child, I can't remember. Then the mother left back, the mother, they lives in Benin. The mother went back to Benin. And one night, the husband is very busy. You understand that. He lives on he works on the highland and they live in Ikorodu. So one night the baby was crying and she was trying to take care of the baby. And the baby did not stop crying. At one time she got tired. She said she now gave the baby to the husband that we gave birth to this child together. She dumped the baby and went to the sitting room and she slept. That cannot come and die because of the baby is crying. Every night I will not sleep. You will be sleeping. Am I the only one that gave birth to this child? So I want to also suggest that the husband should also be supportive. Make it easier for the woman. If there's anything you can help her, support her to do, that will make it reduce the burden on the woman. Because when she's the only one doing everything, nobody is supporting her, she has to do everything. At the same time, the things that the husband is supposed to do for himself, he cannot do it for himself. You see, expect this woman that just giving back to also babysit him as a husband. So it can be an issue. It can be a burden for the woman that should not be crying that the mother-in-law should stay longer than necessary, or our own mother should stay longer than necessary. So it is important the husband too should be supportive. Ajobini now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I can see your passion at which you, even the Ajobini now, I can also see your passion inside that voice. I'm not sure that on this platform anybody at any point in time had encouraged husbands to be lazy or to be less supportive. Just like you said, the child is not the property of just only one person. It's a joint property. So if the child is a joint property, then everybody should contribute to the nurturing of the baby. So I'm very sure that I'm not sure that at any point in time we have at any point in time encouraged that husbands should not show support for their wife or for the baby. I think all of us agree on that platform. But most importantly is you need to do much more when the baby comes in. Especially, I've seen people that have twins and even triplets. If you cannot take care of the baby, then it becomes a lot of burden on the wife. And the wife also has her own, especially for career women, they also have their own jobs and all other things to attend to. But by and large, I'm so sure one of the things that we've encouraged on this platform is that the husband should be quite supportive to the wife. I hope that answers your question, ma. Our time is fast spent. I'm so sure we can come back and revisit this topic elaborately. And I'm so sure when next we're going to discuss this topic, is either we want to invite a grandma or we want to invite a newly wedded wife who probably just gave birth to only one and come and share her experience, how interesting or how challenging it has been. For me in here, I want to say it's been a great opportunity and a good time having everyone on this platform. Dr. Femi Samuel, thank you very much for your wonderful contribution tonight. Mr. Oluwalere, I want to also thank you for all your contributions tonight. And
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
We can I also want to say thank you so much for the passion at which you are representing your people very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, to come again next with other program topics. I will want to say, do have a good night and have a great week ahead. Thank you so much. Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Nice.